Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
Pardon me.
I guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right, too.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Okay. Ah.
It seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganath Haros changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary. Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Renan society.
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive. But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces, and nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Rena, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you, because we're threats to Rena.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
Yeah. I think it's made me realize that the Lords were all people, too. Balsif and the others, they all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying to dispute that. But at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals, just like the rest of us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were terrible monsters. Even if they did terrible things, they were still just people.
Rinwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a Dahnan doesn't make you a good person. And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all seen.
Shion and Dohalim definitely make a good case for it.
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust. As a fellow human being above all else.
There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current Sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfried Milgras, the former Lord of Cyslodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfried whatchamacallem, he's the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming Sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegis?
I guess over Holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the Sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegis from the motherland, Sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
You and me both. Though we are Renan by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Core existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then. Let's get a move on.
Doe?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait. Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still...
Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Dahnan rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
Wow, this place is beautiful!
Yeah, it must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renan sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnagin. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnagin. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnagin and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagin and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagin had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagin was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait, don't tell me she doesn't know.
I tell her, combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less, she would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty, instead I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Xion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right. Alphen.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe, but I still wanted to say thank you.
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
Damn it! Lenegis soldiers!
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
Oh! I am Lord Dohalim of Hell. I command you.
Threats to the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed enough. If they want to fight, they got one.
Not on my watch!
Denied!
Raging Hurricane! I never miss! That's my cue!
Shut him down!
I'm on! I'll thank you! Raging
Lightning Counter!
win!
Eliminate the
more! Dazzle! I'm fire support! Double Demon Fang!
If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Knuckle! Prepare to be seized! Locked and loaded! Blazing Lightning!
Raging Warrior!
Armor won't save you!
Air thrust! Now!
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, they're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
Take this! Slot! Talon Hurricane! Double Demon!
This one's mine!
Eagle Your reflexes will not serve you well here. Not today! This one's all mine! Be still! Burn in hell! Eat this! Take it! Slot! Pierce through! I'm on a roll now! Demon Fang!
Air thrust!
Rising Order!
Came between heaven
After Storm! That's too fast! Stand back! I'll trip it up!
Here goes! More with that color!
Carved through armor! Orochi, the flame inside me yearns to be let free! Rising Lightning! Stardust!
Tempest!
Swallow Dance!
Flawless flight! Let the marksman handle this!
Soaring Blast!
Raging stars!
Do it! Take it! Try it! Away! Elusive Deity! Lightning Thrust!
Oh, I'm on it! Guarding wind!
Orochi Fury!
Sleep now!
Blazing Blade! Not today!
Saving this one! Here goes!
Right!
More with
You're
that now!
Bloody howling!
Lady Fortune must truly be watching over me.
An opponent like this should be easy. Resonate with the earth! Resonate with the earth! Thunderstorm!
Feel it! I never miss!
Away! Rending you
I
apart!
think I'll have the handshake!
Bloody
More with that
Attack!
Razor!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Double Demon! I'm taking it! I owe you one! Swallow Dance!
Confiscated!
Eagle Effect! Now I'm in the groove! Eagle Demon Fang! Life inside me yearns to be let go! Air pressure! This should do it! You're mine!
Here! A wailing dancing of lightning!
Here!
Sleep now!
Burn!
Freezing storm! Lightning orb!
In a bind?
Ice tornado!
Hurricane!
Now you see what I can do!
Rising
I
Phoenix!
never miss! Holy land!
Sonic
Between
Thrust!
heaven and earth!
You're mine! Raging Lunar Storm! Eternal Current!
Lightning condemned!
Slide!
Thunderblade!
Down to the ground! Take this!
Here
Not
goes!
done!
Radiant here!
Charge like that can easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Will this help?
Take this!
Not on my watch!
Ha! Ignite!
Primed and ready! Oh, violent, where are you going? Calm down through all!
I'm sorry to trouble you.
Sleep now. You do the same for me. I'll be saving it.
Nothing gets by me.
More where that came from.
Blood!
Here, what I was doing! Dance in the wind! Here!
You require no further.
More where that came from.
Dragon Swarm!
First aid!
Begin!
Go! Raging cascade!
Take this! Rising Wyvern!
Annihilation!
It's off! Ignite!
Divine save! Magic air!
Rising Wyvern! Soaring
Allow me to help you.
Dragon
Armor won't save you! Illuminate the dark! I never miss!
Eternal Seismic Light! Dragon Swarm!
Elusive
Dragon Swarm! Fill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
That took more energy than I expected.
Hey, look at that enemy! It's... I've got a really bad feeling about this!
On my lord! Double Demon Fang!
Ready to go! That's freaking done!
I'll punch that gun out of your hand! Bring him down!
Holy glimmer! Holy chain between heaven and earth! Lightning! Divine!
Radiant snelling to me.
Yeah! And the puddle to me!
Finish you! Armor won't save you! My deal is through! I'm on it! Sword! Take this!
Arrow squall!
Rip and tear! I'm on a roll now! Let's go!
Eagle fire!
Ignite! Double Demon Fang!
This one's mine!
Eternal Devastation!
Astral energy! Full throttle!
Lightning Storm!
Far enough!
Stardust! First strike! These fists have got your name on them! Be still! Demon Fang! I'll crush you! Lightning Reflexes! Tenebrous Claw! Savage Claw! Armor won't save you! Double Demon Fang! Take this! Sword Lane Alpha! Blow away! First strike! Eternal Devastation! In an instant! Impact Claw!
Let the marksman handle this!
The enemy realized
We'll soon see about that!
my exploits are bearing fruit.
Little help!
You've got fury! Roaching Fury! I'm on it! Try this!
That freaking does it!
No one else! Demon Fang!
That'll bring you down!
Eternal Devastation!
Sleep now!
Denied!
You require
Demon! Strike! Take this! Eternal devastation! You're mine! In an instant! Impact block!
There's always room for improvement.
Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Change of strategy. Duly noted.
Double heal! Rising Wyvern! Ignite! Storm! Fang Blast! Here I come! Time to cross blades! Explosive ring!
Being interrupted.
Raging Cascade!
Seismic eruption.
Here and now! Lunar Rondo!
I'll be saving this one.
Another incantation ruined.
Armor won't save you!
Lava Blade!
Raging Luna
Double
Storm!
Demon Fang! Strike! Destruction!
Eat this! Lost my focus!
I
Benediction
never
light.
miss.
You require
Hollow Dance! Glimmer Field!
Take this!
Rhythmic Tear!
You picked the wrong fight!
Elusive Deity! Now I'm in the mood! Eagle Dive!
Mirage! Dragon Swarm! Pierce through!
Roll away! Clear for us a path!
Mirage! This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
I'll leave it to you! Sword Rain Alpha! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Bestow thy mystic mercy!
Lightning
Armor
Strike!
won't save you! Eat this!
Hit it down! Lunar Rondo!
That freaking does it!
You're mine! Dragon Strike! Eternal Devastation!
That's enough!
Double Demon Fang!
Heal! Swallow Blade! Double Demon Fang! Take this! I'll crush you! Lightning Reflexes! Tenebrous Claw! Take this! Now you see what I can do!
Double Demon Fang! You picked the wrong fight! Dragon Swarm!
Raging Luna Storm!
Right
Roll
there.
now! Let the marksman handle this! Eagle Dive! Go again!
Rising Distance! Sword Rain Alpha!
Swallow Dance! Freaking does it!
Swallow Blade!
Swallow Dance!
Lightning Orb!
Eagle Attack! Now here's my game! Eagle Dive!
Shield! I'll be saving this one.
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Photon Flash!
Pierce through! In an instant! Impact Block!
Everyone's still in one piece?
Fires have passed and course in this place!
I can carve through armor!
To be let free!
Swallow Dance!
These ones can
Eat
run
dirt.
rings around us!
Oh! Now I'm real mad!
I never miss! Divine!
Double Demon Fang!
Not in your dreams!
Denied!
Penumbra! Double Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang! The blade no further! Yours to be let free! First strike! Watch it! Eat dirt! Penumbra! Rotating pile driver!
Came between heaven and earth!
Azure Storm! Demon Fang! Bestow thy mystic mercy!
Illuminate the dark! Come forth, holy land! A chain between heaven and
Blast
earth!
the shock!
Radiant! A wailing
Lunar Rondo!
Laser spear! Pierce evil!
Dragon
Freeze
Swarm!
Lancer!
Pierce through!
Being interrupted.
Ready and do it!
Totally!
Illuminate the dark! Come
In an instant! Impact Block!
Benediction light.
let the marksman handle this!
You picked the wrong fight!
Chinese
In a vine?
Leave the choice to me!
Double Demon Fang!
Contain between heaven and earth!
I'm
A
ready!
wailing banshee of light!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone! Taste in the wind! One more! Magna Ray!
Demon Fang!
Annihilation!
Double Demon Fang!
A wailing banshee of lightning!
Small, but a victory nonetheless.
We have a long way yet to go.
Hi, Hoodle!
Now you'll learn! Fire in the hole! Dragon Swarm!
Black and blade!
I'm going in! Engaging! To the flame inside me!
Resonate with the earth!
Eat them!
Raging Luna Sword! Eat this!
Lightning Slash!
Take this!
No further!
This one's mine! Dance in the wind! Air thrust! I never miss!
You picked the wrong fight! Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Make of the abyssal deep! I've let you more down!
Pay for that! Time to let it rip! Sonic Thrust! Persona!
Raging Cascade!
Mirage!
Raging Luna Sword!
I'll be saving this one!
Demon Fang!
Gusty
Dragon Swarm!
Do it!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet and... I can feel my... power growing!
Fires of passion course in the sky!
Your
raging
Release! It's on!
Can't get out of this!
Demon Fang! Burn it!
Showdown between blade and fist!
This one's mine! Air thrust! Heaven and earth! A whirling banshee of lightning!
Armor won't save you!
Like feeling?
May a thousand years carry your tread!
To an end.
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Is this it? Forgive me.
Resonate with the earth!
No further!
A chain between heaven and earth! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Here I
I'm away!
Dance in the wind! Air thrust!
They smite with blackened blade!
My exploits are bearing fruit. This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I Sovereign of? I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imeris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imeris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegis. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. That's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when—
We can talk later. Here it comes!
I've never known Faria to control doodles like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master force?
Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the doodles, then we get some answers. Aim for the wings up!
Getting wildfire, anything in order.
Armor won't save you!
Bestow thy mystic mercy.
Double Demon Fang!
In here! Freeze blade!
Charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Champion Swirl!
Sorry to trouble you.
Rising Wyvern!
Rotating
I'm ready! Here's another!
Ready and wary! Strike!
None shall escape my judgment that came between heaven and earth. Ray!
Demon Fang! Rising Wyvern! Burn in hell!
Can't get out of this!
Azure Storm! Demon Fang!
Resonate with the earth!
Here's the
what I can do! Stalagmite! On your feet! Raising you apart!
Demon Fang!
Bloody holiday!
Demon Fang!
It's weakened!
Double Demon Fang! This ends now!
Demon
Fang! Not today!
Eagle Ray! I never miss! Holy Land!
Double Demon Fang!
Soaring! A wailing
Demon Fang!
Stealing
Demon Fang!
More for the
Elusive
top
Deity!
Shiny
Azure
Supernova!
Double Demon Fang!
Illuminate the dark! Magic it now!
Small! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! Escape!
Lightning raging hurricane! Healing circle! Letting it into the wind! The chain between heaven and earth! It's about to strike!
In a bind?
Look sharp, everyone! Rising Light! You picked the wrong fight!
Mandala! Lightning condemned! By the power of water! Illuminate the dark! Come forth! Holy Land! Here's a
Here!
Don't leave me! I'll bring you back from death I never miss!
There! Azure Storm!
And here's a healing! First aid! Freezing storm!
Sonic Blade! Azure Storm!
Reload!
Double Demon Fang!
Armor won't save you!
It's turned out! Sword Rain Alpha!
Lightning!
Raging Lunar Storm!
Burning! I'll pick you up!
Fang Blast!
I really owe you one.
Demon Fang!
Lightning! Downfall! Here's your healing art! This one's mine! I never miss!
Down on the ground!
Crash you!
It's far enough! Begin!
Burn!
Tornado Drive!
Ray!
Watch this! No further!
Azure Storm!
Downfall!
Double Demon!
Art Steel! Confiscate!
Elusive Deity! I'll face you!
I didn't think you had it in you.
Focus. Time to congratulate you later.
Crash you!
Nothing much I can say to that.
Glacial Spear!
Mirage! Dragon Swarm!
Freeze Blade!
Eat this!
Here, let me help!
Begin!
Elusive Deity!
I never miss!
Raging Lunar Storm!
Azure Storm!
Here comes something big!
Try to die!
I really owe you one. Another incantation ruined.
Will this help?
Far enough! Talon Hurricane!
Healing Circle!
That's too far.
Electric
Art
Missile!
Steel!
Engulf you!
Annihilation!
Forgive me.
This should do it!
Back from death's abyss!
Azure Storm!
Now I'm real mad! I can carve through armor! Take this! I'll face you!
Azure Storm! Demon Fang!
I owe you one.
It's wide open!
Won't escape me! Soaring Blood! Rip and tear! Eagle Assault!
Elusive Fury!
Here's Eagle!
Double Demon Fang! Azure Storm! Double Demon Fang!
Armor won't save you!
Here I come! Desolate! Jolly! In an instant! Impact Block!
Now it's just her! Faria! Can you hear me? Faria!
She's preparing another summoning! The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalie!
Forgive me. Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please, can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case...
I'll take her off your hands.
You?
Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnagin, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones, if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzelik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almeidrea. As for Tarnagin, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already past, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion.
Huh?
Thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right? Let's move on.
Do you think Faria was really being controlled by someone?
Certainly seemed that way. The question is, who? The Red Woman?
The same person who's behind all of this, I'll bet. Whoever that is.
Brainwashed or otherwise, the feelings of resentment she holds towards me are real.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold back. If that's not playing dirty, I don't know what is.
It does tell us one thing at least. Someone here in Lenegis is watching us. Someone who means us harm.
There's no question. That attack was meant for us alone.
By someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon. We need to find whoever it is, fast.
What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her, it reminds me of Shionne's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want Oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure!
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Finally, we begin to understand what the Thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to get rid of them. I just hope we can find a way.
That vision we saw. It was as if it was meant specifically for us.
What do you make of it? Do you still think the will of Dana might be involved somehow?
Maybe it's trying to tell us something. But what?
Well, it could be supernatural. You know, like seeing dead people, messages from beyond the grave, ghost-type stuff.
That's your grand theory? That we're being haunted? Come on, Law.
Wait. He might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
You think that's what it was? Some kind of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dana's will, or somehow connected to the Sovereign and Maiden's powers, I do not know.
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough astral energy, it can somehow show us events that happened centuries ago?
More to the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway? Seems unlikely it happened naturally.
Whatever it was, it survived here intact for 300 years. Whoever left it for us, the strength of their intent is beyond doubt.
The strength of their intent. Soon, you might very well learn the truth behind Shion's thorns. As well as my own past, I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens. I'm determined to save Shion and Dana. Nothing I learn can change that. Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out. This looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
For the people of Lenegis, the Forbidden Zone is the stuff of dreams. Yet here I am, standing within its hallowed halls.
It's off limits even for lords, then? Talk about an exclusive club.
Being exclusive is one thing, but how many important facilities let in only the Sovereign? Doesn't that seem a little strange?
Strange doesn't cover it. If it was only one room, maybe. But a place on this scale? How do they keep it from falling into ruin? Whoever the Sovereign is, they can't manage the upkeep of this whole place themselves.
Did no one ever talk about it when you were growing up?
No, not that I can remember. Then again, Sovereigns and Forbidden Zones weren't exactly breakfast table conversations.
The Forbidden Zone is a hallowed place, at one with the Sovereign's authority, grounds of the one true ruler who presides over all Renans. That is what we believed this place to be. No, what we were made to believe it was. But now, it is finally time to discover this area's true purpose, and why it was kept hidden behind the scenes for so long. I think I can make this work.
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. A composite being capable of controlling Dahnan astral energy so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure, taking the form of a Dahnan. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign?
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the Master Cores. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it? Did you find something?
It's a list of names, with the title, Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, I think I've found one that was successful. Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique Adjustment Index, Generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
They've re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique Adjustment Index, Generation, NA. Given name, Volron.
Volron? But that means...
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the Sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new Sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 Sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the Sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a Sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can, while we're here.
I'll do that.
So... only 2 sovereigns, in over 300 years. So why has the experiment only succeeded twice in all this time? And if that's the case, why keep on doing it? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken, that's all. I knew what I was already, so it's not like it's a surprise or anything. But it's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's for. I'm scared that I'll put a face to it, just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it, before you ever got that far. Wouldn't we, everyone?
Yeah. We wouldn't just sit by and watch you spiral out of control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us to guide you back. To remind you where home is.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever have need.
Thank you, everyone. I think I'll be okay now. Naori, I...
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Rena never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell.
Naori...
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... If I don't head back, Lenegis will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen.
That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lenegis.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on me, and made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
This place. We've seen this in one of Naori's memories.
Of course. After 300 years, this is where it was held. The spirit channel. This is where the Renis Alma was.
So this is the place where you and Naori...
The Renis Alma isn't here now. Nor is the Red Woman, it seems.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later. For now, we need to keep moving. Come on.
Naori.
What is this? Is it the work of Dana's will again?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future have grown more and more fearsome.
Is this another memory? No, it's different this time. It's like she's speaking directly to us.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. About what was done to us. All in the name of a ceremony. The purpose of which we were never even told. As Sovereign, they linked Alphen's consciousness to Lenegis itself. The Renis Alma was intended to control his power, lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give shape to the strength inside of him.
Linked to Lenegis itself? But then, everything that's been happening...